I may be an ant to them.
Before we, or Russia, the Russian Republic as it is now, have you had any further contacts?
The 33rd International Congress on Military Medicine in Helsinki, the year 2000. And here you can see how they can beam an individual just straight, just to one person with microwaves, and the others are totally unaffected. From vans, from all these military equipments, also from helicopters and planes, and always neighbors. So
that's very interesting
recruit
because that relates very, very closely to the kind of material that a guy in England called Barry King. Right, nothing like changing batteries. Right, okay, take two. This document.
This one?
Yeah.
Well, it was presented in...
This is at what conference?
At the conference, 33rd International Conference on Military Medicine.
And where was that held?
It was held in Helsinki the year 2000. And this was part of my poster presentation.
Excellent.
And there you can see how vans can send microwaves just to one person from the neighboring house. Helicopters can do it, and all kinds of military equipment. And this was, of course, taken from the US.
And how did your research enable you to find out about that?
This was sent to me a long time ago by an Englishman who was doing research.
Excellent.
And I used that.
Okay.
And interestingly, this is my article in internet, which I have not myself put into internet, but it's I counted 13 languages now, even
Right.
Japanese, Russians, whatever.
Is this based on lectures you've given elsewhere?
Yeah, it's sort of it was the first publication in a medical journal ever in the world, in Spekula, Oulu University in northern Finland, medical club for the students and the medical doctors of North Finland, and this article was printed in their magazine. And it was interesting that already in 1874 in Ohio they put the first implants. Electrodes, they called them then. 1874.
Oh.
Somebody has been tampering with the text and put 1974, but it was 1874. It was a female patient who died. But still, so already then they were doing research in the Good Samaritan Hospital in Ohio.
That's pretty startling.
Yeah. It's been going on for a long time. All in Finnish also. This was the first article ever in a medical journal about near-death experiences and out-of-body experiences in '83. But it's in Finnish. So, and these probably are, you probably know them because they're from Matrix and they are from American publications.
They did that on the Green and Common women. They used mind control on them.
That's right. That's right.
Do you have it? Do you have any information on that? Green and
Yes,
Common?
I have read the story.
Yeah.
Kim something. What was her? She's dead now.
Yeah.
Many of those ladies died of cancer, and that's what they do.
That's the Green and Common ladies.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Died of cancer.
Yeah.
Because of the mind control and the microwaves.
Of course, but they can cause cancer. The worst thing is that they use illnesses as weapons today. They can beam into you cancer. For rats, it takes only 2 days. But they have another frequency and they can also take it away. But do you think they give it to humans? No.
And do you think that's what the reason is? They need a DNA code for everybody?
Probably. Then they can also cause a myocardial infarction if they want to kill you. If they don't, they just give you angina. It just hurts, heart pain. Or they can give you a stroke. They can give you a diarrhea. They can make you vomit in a second. And this is used as a weapon. Think.
A friend of mine in Dorset experienced that. There was a helicopter flew over her house.
Yeah.
She was just walking in the country and she had something which happened to her which made her...
That's right.
Vomit.
I remember seeing on TV when George Bush Sr. was in Japan on a official visit, and all of a sudden at the dinner he started vomiting. And the Japanese, they went like this, and the film was not shown in the USA. But I just had one question: was it CIA or was it Japanese?
And at President Obama's inauguration dinner, 2 senators.
Yeah, that's incredible. And also when President Obama was giving his oath, something happened. It didn't work the way it should have been. I just thought, who clicked?
Because he was smiling when he did it.
Right.
Anyway, and yes.
Oh, this is part of which.
We didn't talk about that. So let's just get a little bit on your new book.
Well, it talks about. I did start with it.
Yeah,
you took it
okay,
the whole thing, so I don't have to repeat it. But there was an interesting thing. They were in the year 2003, 2 and 3. In Norway, they were having an official governmental committee looking into maybe, how would I say it, bad things that have been done in medicine to people. And of course they come to the conclusion that nothing has been done before 1975. But they didn't accept, the committee secretary did not accept the positive findings. And even if an 81-year-old Dr. Melby, who had been at the national board here in Norway, had come out before his death and said that they have been using human patients as guinea pigs. He didn't use the word guinea pigs, but using them for what they say research. They didn't take that in. I said, well, he was so old. So that's again the official truth, is that nothing has happened, which is bad for patients, but unofficially a lot of things have happened. And right now, about a month ago, in the major newspaper Aftenposten was 2 pages of a 91-year-old medical doctor who said, yes, we have given malaria to people. We have done this and this and this, because we didn't know what to do with the patients in the mental institutes. And in this committee that gave out the report in the year 2003, I was there for 1 hour and gave positive information. Like, the Times magazine had an article that Norway, among others, uses insane for research. Nothing came out, but these 2 last pages show something, and I thought that was very interesting. This is the official name of the committee, and this is done, as you see, U.S. Air Force, U.S. Army, whatever, U.S. Atomic Energy Commission, United States Navy, Office of Naval Research, U.S. Navy, NASA, doing research with patients in Norway.
In Norway? This is
Norway. This was Dr. Sem Jacobsen, who was working with American military institutes. And this was from 1950s to 1960.
Why is there such a heavy involvement of U.S.
I mentioned
government?
It. And Norway.
And that is why, do you think that Norway might be used as
Exactly, because it's been used like this previously. And in Scandinavia, people normally don't complain, very seldom. They don't complain if doctors do something bad. But in the USA, you maybe have to pay $1 million or something. Well, so this Scandinavian countries are good for experimentation with US funding, as this is now absolutely shown. Even if this is old, 50s, 60s, but it shows that something has been doing, that they've done something. And officially, there's nothing, but these were the 2 large pages of the report. But the report concluded that nothing has happened.
Nothing's happened, but we've done it anyway.
Well, it's the same thing as with Condon reports. The report about the UFOs at the Colorado University.
Yeah.
So, summary.
They are the soldiers that were used in the nuclear weapons tests.
That's right. Things come out.
Are actually...
Everything comes out, and maybe that's the thing why somebody wants these things to come out too, because they do come out.
Because ultimately it's going to affect their children.
That's right. They've had court cases here because there's a special boat with big radars here, military radars in Norway.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, the crew started having children who were abnormal. And there were so many of them that it wasn't just a coincidence. But so far I have read from papers they haven't been reimbursed in any way. But of course the child's life is destroyed, and of course it has affected the sperm of the males.
Are you familiar with Tetra?
I've read about it
Yeah.
in internet.
Yeah.
It's, the military.
Which military?
This was the conference that you just filmed, you
Yes,
know, the
okay.
International Conference on Military Medicine.
Let's get a
That was my abstract. Which
So that's,
stated,
that's a hell of a thing for you to get involved with.
that's right, and this was a neurology conference, the same MK, and this was a world conference on general practitioners, the same. And the conclusion was like here that silent sound technology, successfully also used in the first Iraqi war, showed that microwaves can cause hallucinations and hearing voices in healthy soldiers. European Parliament resolution from 1999 suggests a global ban on technology affecting human behavior. So there's a ban. They're suggesting a ban.
So you've been under a little bit more attack than just strange keys in your carpet thing. How do you feel? Let's get a little bit.
Yeah, like I said, I've been hit unconscious and taken to the hospital with an ambulance. I've been poisoned.
What kind of poisoning? That's all very serious.
It is. They put it into the fireplace, or they put it through the air ducts, and you become sick, unconscious, and throw up. And my mother was here, and it was pretty bad. I have to say. I don't want to go into details, but she's dead.
And also, you've been attacked in the internet.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You know, whatever. It's a campaign. It's I call it CIA's campaign for what do you call it? For discrediting. I mean, it's clear, and it's very interesting that the leader of UFO Norway is behind the lies a lot. The leader of UFO Sweden too, not that badly because he's a journalist. He's more cautious. But you know, like the leader of UFO Norway says that I have bought one of my 3 medical titles from the New York Academy of Sciences for $80. Come on, I was asked to be a member for your achievements, and there are 40 Nobel Prize winners, and Charles Darwin and President Thomas Jefferson as previous members, and their annual fee was $80, and it was already founded in 1817, and they don't sell titles. But you know, he goes out like this. Then he says, I haven't been to the conferences I claim to be, like MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, had a closed conference, invitation only, about alien abductions. Now they have 700-page proceedings, and I mentioned what I said there in 4 pages. So, you know, you can lie as much as you want. And I've just let them do it. I first thought that I'll go to court, but I thought, why should I? I don't go on their level. I know, and those who know me, they know who I am, what titles I have, and that's it. But they often
You don't play their game.
I don't play their game. No, I don't. They often use people who are, how would I say, who don't have a position, who don't have a high title or you know, a degree or whatever, because they make them feel so important that you have to do this for us, and so you're a good guy, you know. I laugh. Is something that's incredible, because
This is 2007 they wrote that?
yeah, 18th of July. So, you know, it's unbelievable actually, because they've never written a word about UFOs.
Do you think they'll use you'd be an important person within the Scandinavian community, that if they wanted to, they would use yourself as a mechanism of discussion and release?
I could think so. I could think so, but I don't work with anybody. But why do I get an invitation to this conference, for instance? I was flabbergasted. I usually go when I'm invited.
Yeah.
If the speakers, I know the speakers, if they're good or whatever. It could very well be. All of a sudden I come here and I find a pile of papers that were stolen 80 years ago from me. They're back now. Now I need them.
It's very kind of them to give you back.
Isn't it? But they stole my 8 years work. Papers all gone. And a journalist, a Norwegian journalist whom I have met now, said that somebody gave him a pile of papers and said, "You're a journalist, why don't you make a book?" And he did. But my automatic writing said...
those were your papers that he then made a book from your work?
That's right, partly. But I can't prove anything. And then my automatic writing said, "Well, you should be only glad that things come out, even if you don't get the credit."
Yeah.
And I said, okay, but 8 years.
Yeah.
So...
I always say you never make money working for the aliens. You work like hell. You don't ask for the credit either.